Hello, in this video you're going to learn how to create a people bio on the Payson Center website. When you first log into the site, and you're going to log in with your Tulane credentials, you're going to see that the website has changed to accommodate the fact that you're now an authenticated user, and you're an authenticated user that has been assigned a role called Paysonite. And Paysonites will see when they log in two things. You're going to have this black and gray administrative toolbar, and on the toolbar are a series of shortcuts for creating a blog entry, a people bio, and a book recommendation. Or you can click on Add Content, and here there'll be the same, like a list of some of those same items. The other thing that happens when you become an authenticated user to the website is that this final menu tab called Web 411 appears, and this is a private Paysonite only area of the website because it contains content about working on the website itself and other technologies. I'm going to click on Web 411, and the video that I'm creating is going to become part of the documentation and tutorials for working with Payson technology that you find here. And this takes you through kind of the tasks that you need to get started. And we always recommend that you create a people bio first, and then you're going to also do something which is called enhancing your user account or your user account profile, and that will be another video. So here, if you look over kind of explaining what is a people bio and what it does, we cross-reference people bios across our site in a variety of different ways. For instructors, it'll pull a bio into a course or a project. Will show that it's they're the director or the primary investigator. Also, everybody who works with a people bio, if they add any country information, that's going to show up as a yellow marker on our project map. So you can see that there's quite a bit of experience for Payson people, and if I kind of choose to scroll into a part of the world and not in the middle of the, okay, yellow means this is a Paysonite, and if I hover over it, it will show me a name, and then if I click on it, it'll give me a link to a people bio. This individual hasn't given any bio text or a picture, so it's kind of not too juicy to go on to the next, to want to go look at it. But if you actually round out your people bio quite a bit, then you're going to get this kind of look, and read more will take you to that individual's bio. So though countries are listed here under country experience, it actually does contribute to our interactive map. So you're going to find ways across the website that people bios are pulled in. So I'm going to come back to Web 411. So that's kind of what is a bio, and I've seen that recently, it's the beginning of the school year, a lot of people are spending their time on the Payson people web page, which is a view of all the different bios that we have on this site, and it's filterable because we are so far-flung as Paysonites. Sometimes you're not going to meet somebody ever because they're in the program, they're distance-based, or maybe they're going to come to campus for a one credit mini course, or you're going to only see them in Blackboard. It's just a really nice way to kind of get an idea of who your compatriots are and what their interests are. So I'm going to come back into Web 411, and now also there are step-by instructions for creating and editing your people bio, and that's where this video is going to go as well once it's completed. So you have written instructions as well as you'll have this video to step you through the process. Okay, and we are going to go to create people bio, and you can see that actually I'm logged in. Also, when one authenticates, you're going to see your user account, or that's that user profile, and I'm not acting as me, Sheila Joy, but rather I'm masquerading as another individual who is a graduate student, so that you can see exactly what their experience is. Because Catherine Cheney is a graduate student, because she's a Paysonite, she is going to see this kind of pared down environment that leads her directly to the items that she needs to do. So also I just wanted to say As far as what we're asking you to do here, we're giving you some direct experience I think you can apply for looking for other jobs. So, for example, we had a job posting, or actually, Kiva San Francisco Fellows, one of our alumna was working there, and she was reaching out to Paysonites to see if they might be interested in doing in this fellowship. And as I scrolled, I've highlighted that marketing and communications are one of the things that you're going to find you're going to be doing for internships, fellowships, NGOs. It's that kind of Web 2.0 way of life, writing testimonials, having a bio, blogging, capturing, pictures and footage of your experience. What we're having you do here on the Payson website is stuff that you can directly apply to experience for finding a job as you enter into the field. Right here under desired skills and experience are familiarity and comfort with various web applications and technology. And that's why we're actually having you kind of do this process yourself, become more familiar with it rather than having it done for you so that you can learn by doing. So there's a few things that you can get together that will make this process a little easier. If you have a Word document, like maybe a resume or a CV, then and you want to kind of type everything up there and then bring it into your bio, that's possible, or you can actually compose on the fly within the form. But I'm just kind of getting a few things ready. It helps to have, and also we really do like it in the bios, and I mean, also when you're visiting bios, a little 1 or 2 paragraphs that explains who you are and what your interests are and what your focus of study is, rather than just kind of that dry list of bullet points of where your degrees are and what country you've been to. Just if you could take a few minutes to tell people about you. And oftentimes, kind of the first assignment anyone has in a Blackboard class is to do a forum entry where you kind of introduce yourself to the class. If you want to use that as a genesis for your people bio, that's great. You can always come back and edit this and expand on it as your experience changes. So I'm starting with a Word document, and we'll show you how to work with that quickly. Also, it's good to have a photo that is head and shoulders. So let me come back to the instructions here for creating a people bio. And it kind of explains some of these things to you as well. We really don't want avatars. We just want to have people's photos or no photo available altogether, because this is a place where you're kind of building your professional identity. I'll come back to my thought on that one. You're starting to build a professional identity, and it's going to expand over the next 2 years that you're here. So let's start out with a basic. So to start the process, we're going to go ahead and click on Create People Bio. And this process doesn't really take long, and like I said, if you save something, you can always come back and keep editing. It takes you into a fillable web form that gathers up all your information, and it's going to display it around the website in some of these different locations that I've talked to you about on the People Bio page, and then if we want to link to it within a blog entry, or if we're going to link to it within your user account, etc. But first thing we have to do is build it. So we're creating this bio for Catherine Cheney, or let's pretend she's doing this herself, okay? And you want to enter the full name here. And everybody on the website who creates a people bio gets a unique URL as a Paysonite, and it's going to be paysontulane.edu/people/ whatever you type here, separated by a hyphen. So it'll be Catherine, lowercase, Catherine, hyphen, lowercase, Cheney, and that'll be a unique URL. Okay, a photo. There are some requirements here for size, etc. Okay, so don't bring up the largest photo, but I'm going to choose file, and so have a picture that I like, with head and shoulders of myself if I was Catherine, and I'm going to say open, and then upload. The picture is going to be automatically sized. It even gets those nice rounded corners, so you don't have to worry about kind of editing things. However, if you are doing a photo with maybe you're just a small person in the corner, you might want to do some cropping ahead of time. Alternate text and title are used for Alternate text are used for those who might be vision impaired, who might not be able to see a photo, but if they hover over it, they'll get alternate text. And then also like things, search engines like Google will actually look for the alternate text on images and bring it into Google Images. So if somebody searched for Catherine Cheney, she would come up as an image in a Google search, as opposed to JPEG 745937 or Canon X blah 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 blah. So I'm just going to go ahead and put. And then the same thing, that the title is actually the way they kind of split it out in our content management system, is that the title provides the tooltip, but the alternate text is also available for screen readers and search engines. Okay, now contact. This actually will give person a link, an authenticated user, a link to your people bio, to your user account. And within the user account, there's a contact us form. So it's possible for people, if they log into the website, to contact you. And we're not just like listing your email address, they have to use a web form to get in touch with you. And the only people who can really log into our website are other Paysonites. So you're not going to get spam from everywhere. This is just for Paysonites. So we're talking students, alumni, faculty, staff. So it's a channel where people can communicate with one another. So I'm going to go ahead and I typed ahead a K, and that brings me down to contact. We do ask that you supply your last name here again, and this is for alphabetization purposes. Okay, classification. This is how on the people, the Payson people page, it kind of divides up everybody by who they are, and then it filters. This classification is going to help make that happen. So MS candidate. Secondary classification, we have a lot of people who work here as staff as well as our students, or perhaps you have a PhD from Payson and you're working towards a PhD and you were an alumni of the MS program. So it's also possible to have a secondary classification like alumni or staff, but we're going to actually set that back to none. Now the position actually appears, it seems redundant, but this is where you can kind of expand a little more. For example, I'm a staff member, so staff is not really helpful. I need to put my information here. And then later when people become alumnuses, we usually do things like say alumna and what degree and where you're working, just to help people get an idea. So for now, this one, of course, is going to be a little more redundant, and MS candidate is fine. Okay, and I'm typing ahead there. Testimonial, we would love always word of mouth, the kind of of the Yelp generation. Anytime you kind of hear a personal endorsement from someone regarding a program and with a face, it just helps. And I hope everybody here who's a new student maybe has spent some time on our prospective student page looking at testimonials, and that's kind of helped you decide that Payson Center is a place you wanted to come. So we're not asking you, this is not required, but if you want to give some insight on why you chose the Payson Center, what you like about the Payson Center, and maybe that's something you need to live into, you can always come back and add that text later. But this is going to show in your people bio form as well as kind of get displayed in other parts of the website. Testimonials are also something that most kind of NGOs and fellowship programs, etc. This is all the kind of web work. I'm not doing anything that is not, you're not going to be seeing out in the field. And actually Catherine or Katie this summer was working in Panama at an NGO called Cathalac, and before she left, they asked her to write a testimonial and pull up a picture and say who she was. So again, kind of direct translation on what you're doing on our website and what you will be probably doing as you enter the development world. Okay. So I'm going to come back to the people bio form. I actually do have this testimonial text in Microsoft Word, and I'm highlighting that and copying it. And this text box is going to be a little different from the text box below it, which says biography. A testimonial, if I cut and paste kind of right into here, it just makes like a plain text format. I don't have to worry about any kind of formatting. Within the biography or most of the fields you're going to see, like when you're working in if later if you feel like blogging on our website or creating a book recommendation, etc., you're going to want to be able to format your text a little more. Use styles, use bold, use italics, perhaps insert a video, and all within the instruction pages under Web 411. And there are links to how to work with this editor. It's actually called a WYSIWYG, or What You See Is What You Get editor. It's created by CK Editor, and what it does is it gives you an interface that you're used to seeing in Word or in Google Docs, but instead of creating code for those locations, it's actually creating standards compliant HTML. So, and to that end, a really helpful item on this toolbar is something called Paste from Word. A lot of times people just really want to move text between locations, but the formatting used in Word, the formatting used in Google Docs is specific to the environment. It's not HTML. And a lot of times if you cut and paste from another website, you get a lot of legacy. Next to it, a lot of legacy coding that might cause problems with the look and feel of our website. So you want to kind of work clean. Next to paste from Word is paste as plain text. And you could be as virginal as that and just use plain text, especially if you're going, like I said, from another website or something like that. But because I did take the time to write out my feelings in Word, oh, I'm sorry about these emails. I should just close those. And maybe I want to work with hyperlinks, or I want to make things bold, etc. So I'm going to take this text from Word and I'm going to use that paste from Word option just to get the best experience on the website, so it looks and feels like other items on the website. So I'm going to go ahead and say paste from Word, and you get a little pop-up box, and you have to use your keyboard shortcuts. So I'm doing a Command V because I'm on a Mac. And I'm going to say OK. And if I had bolding or italics or something like that in my original Word document, that would be preserved. Notice here is a hyperlink. I put in a hyperlink in my Word document, and it's actually preserved. That wasn't stripped away. But instead of kind of having these reference points, we're going to make true hyperlinks, and that's one of the reasons why we actually give you the ability to work with a WYSIWYG editor. I'm going to go ahead and take this hyperlink and cut it, because what I really want to do is reference First Peoples Worldwide. That if you click on this hyperlink with the friendly name, it's going to take you off-site to the page. On the WYSIWYG editor, there is an icon that looks like a globe with a link. We're going to click on link, and it takes you through a three-part dialog box. I can go ahead and paste the URL, firstpeople.org. And then the next tab here is Target. Target's really for user experience. We don't want people to leave the Payson website to maybe take a quick look at what is this organization. So we want to make a choice to open up a new window or open a new tab, so that they're not actually taken away from our site, but rather they're kind of being referenced to another. The Advanced tab is also about usability rather. Again, we were talking about your picture having an alt tag. Here I can just paste in again the URL. So if somebody's hovering over First People Worldwide, and you're going to get a screen tip so they know that we're taking them off of our website. We're not taking them to another page, etc. So we have another URL. And we're going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to cut it by doing a Command X, get rid of some of that formatting that I had in Word. And I'm talking about the UN Permanent Forum on Indigenous Peoples in May 11. Maybe I want to make that a capital P. And I'm going to go ahead and highlight the text I want to make the friendly URL. Again, click on the link item for the WYSIWYG toolbar. Again, I'm taking somebody off the page. When you're actually working within our site, you don't want to keep opening multiple tabs. So if you're actually referencing something on our website, you're going to make it same window so it goes between the two. And that's a rule of thumb for just good user experience on any website that you might be working with. So I'm going to go ahead and say new window blank, and then again under the advisory title, put the name of the URL. So again, if one is hovered over, they know that they're going to be going to this website and maybe not someplace internal. Okay, now just going to clean up as far as getting rid of some extra paragraph marks and just make sure that there's no text below. So that's as easy as that if you've kind of put your thoughts together. And again, year two, this is, Katie's done some things over the summer. You can always come back in the beginning of year two and make changes, talk about your new experiences, etc. Okay, the LinkedIn profile, especially with the fact that, with work experience or academic experience, if I scroll down to some of the other items we'd like you to supply, you're going to be like, oh, I have to maintain a CV and I have to maintain LinkedIn, and now you want me to put all my jobs, and oh, it's just so much work and it's just a web burden. Well, and also then when you leave, how do we know what you're continuing to do? Well, LinkedIn profile is great. You can really kind of concentrate on building your web identity or your professional identity on LinkedIn and put it in your people bio so that when you actually do graduate in 2 years, we can kind of keep continuing your story by looking at your LinkedIn profile, and you can really focus your information on that. And also, this has been helpful for people who are reviewing our program to follow the lives of our alumni, see where they're working, who do they know, who they're connected to. And then, we also have a LinkedIn group for our Tulane Payson Center has a LinkedIn group that you're welcome to join as well, and you can continue to work with people on that. So it is customized. It is possible to create a customized LinkedIn public profile URL, and you can follow these instructions. But at the moment, I'm just going to come into Katie's profile on LinkedIn, and this is her public profile. So even if I am authenticated, but if I wasn't, I could, this would be her public profile. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and copy that. And I'm coming back to the people bio that we're working on. And all we ask is that this is like the title text, and you repeat that with the URL. I'm just doing Control V's to put this in, and this will actually show the profile and the URL. Okay, with degrees, so that everybody has similar formatting, we've given you some example text here, and this is Colin Crawford, our executive director's example text. This is just to show you what it's supposed to look like, and then you can delete it. There is an issue that sometimes you delete this and it comes back and you have to open up your bio one more time, delete it, and then it really gets rid of it. So I'm going to go ahead and enter Katie's information. So she went to Penn State with a bachelor's degree in anthropology in 2011. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of this text. It tells you to do so. Okay, and you can then get rid of what doesn't apply, no advanced degrees yet. And so I'm going to say that I want it to look like, so again, a B, and I think it's a BA as opposed to a BS. That's going to go first, followed by a comma, and then the university, the discipline, and the date. Okay. So really what we're giving you is just example text, so you kind of get the formatting right. And then I can go ahead and just delete all the extra spaces in there. Okay. Academic experience, this is a bio for many people, so if you haven't taught, you're welcome to come in here again, just highlight everything and hit delete, and probably that will come back one time, but we'll come back and get rid of it after we save. Related experience, this is a great place for those internships that you're doing, some of the things that she mentioned. Let me actually, I was a little ahead of myself there. I'm going to bring it back in by doing Control Z or Command Z. And this is the formatting. You want to say what you did, where you did it, and what were the dates. That's the direction. And within the Word document, and also maybe from the your LinkedIn profile. Maybe if you want to just give us a little idea that's on this page, that'd be great. But you don't have to feel slavish to kind of come back in and keep updating this, because you do have that link to your LinkedIn profile, and it'll carry you and follow you for a while. So I'm going to go ahead and also use my paste from Word option. Just use those good practices. Say OK, and it's the formatting is what I did, where I did it, and the dates. So maybe I want to, I can, just so kind of everybody, when you look at a site, it's not that different. And I'm going to take this one. Okay, and you're welcome to follow along with that format, as many bullet points as you want. If you're on the WYSIWYG editor, you can go ahead and click on the bullets, okay, and then get rid of the ones that don't. Or your other option was to actually paste this right here. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then press enter. I'll get another bullet, and you just start moving around your text and kind of cleaning it up. Okay, I think I'm going to go along with kind of taking it back to where I was. So I'm just kind of hitting Control Z here. I'm going to delete these items, but we just had an example there of what you had. Oh, what was the date? I got rid of it. 14. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and make that a bulleted text. Okay. Now, same thing, if you've written any publications, previous theses or etc. from other locations, you're welcome to put the information here. And again, it just shows you the style that we want, the date, the title, etc. So use this as your style guideline. If not, we're going to delete. Going to come to source. Make sure source is actually where my HTML formatting is. I'm just making sure absolutely everything is cleaned out there. Still, I just know from experience it might come back. And then we go on. Now these research and teaching specializations are categories or tags that we have across our website, where we find people with birds of a feather, so to speak, people who have similar interests. So if we are doing perhaps a project that is going to focus, a grant-based project from the Department of Labor or USAID, and it's going to focus on, child labor, on refugee rights, etc. These are the lists that we can find people with common interests, and we'll show you how those work when we come out. So we know that she has a degree in anthropology. We know that, and then from her profile, some other interests. So you can just go down. You always want to hold down the Command key if you're on a Mac, or a Control key. If you're on Windows, Control click and select the items that you're interested to. And I think we had gender and women studies, etc. So you just take your time and go down that list. It is a little tight. With languages, this is every language available in the world. Same thing, Command click and indicate as such. If you would like to upload a file of your curriculum vitae, I suggest you take out your address. You don't want to share that information, and you can go ahead and upload the file from here. If you want to get involved with our Payson Graduate Student Association, there's a little hidden area here where you can fill out information, and maybe when you decide to get involved with PGSA, and this is how we can pull some of your information to Payson Graduate Student Association pages. But if you go ahead and compress that again. Now, as far as country experience, this is a two-step process. This is going to go ahead and put one of those little yellow tabs on the project map, or the Payson map, and it's a two-step process. So Botswana and Panama are what we're looking for. So you can, this is pulled in from Google. It's a Google API, but it's not as powerful as full-on Google Maps. So you kind of have to do what they want you to do, and unfortunately it's a two-step process. So you're going to put the country Botswana. Unfortunately, notice this red marker doesn't go zoom down to Botswana. I have to actually bring up my I can double click, etc., to come on in. Oh, really good. I kind of knew where Botswana was, and I need to double click on the map. So you can kind of drag and drop with this map. You can use the click to zoom, etc. But you can focus in as tight as or as untight. If you know about latitude and longitude, if you want to look that up and like full on Google Maps and come back and paste that information in here, you're more than welcome to do so. Just realize there's a lot of people putting markers. So again, and because we are going from global, you don't have to be super, super tight on this. You might want to just drag to a different part of the country. So when you're looking at that full-on map, maybe not all of the markers are right on top of the word Botswana. Okay, so we're going to repeat that process here. We're going to actually add another item. So we get another one of these country experience API boxes, and I'm looking for Panama. All right, and I'm going to kind of double click in on the map. Panama's a small country, so sometimes you just have to get them in a little tighter to make sure you're not in the middle of the ocean. And I'm going to go ahead and just put that text there. I don't need to get more finite, more granular than that. And now you've created a people bio. So we're going to hit save. You can preview. Save will actually make exactly, remember I said to look at the URL. You now have a unique page called People, Catherine, and your name, the title separated. And if I scroll on down, there's my text, my LinkedIn profile, okay, opening up in a new tab. And even if why don't I now actually, I was supposed to, I was going to log out of LinkedIn and show you how it just really shows the public profile. Let's do that. I'm going to go to LinkedIn and let me go ahead and log out. It always wants to keep me signed in. Here's my public profile. I'm going to sign out though. And now if I follow her public profile, even though I'm not authenticated or logged in to LinkedIn, it's showing her public information. Okay. And so that is a really helpful link. You don't even have to write a bio, but if you want to do like a picture to start off, your LinkedIn profile, your class categories, your classification, etc. All right. Like I said, yeah, I was afraid that that academic experience might come back and the publications might come back. But we do have these tagged areas of interest. These are links, so if I click on anthropology, it actually takes me to a tag page, and it shows everybody else at the every other Paysonite who has a similar interest. So it starts to build these tag pages. Okay, I'm going to go back. Now here, these aren't links to the map, but if I was to come to our project map, just to make sure it worked. As fast as this, of course this is the full world here. So if I'm going to double click in and come in on Botswana, let's see if it worked. I came in down towards the bottom of the country. Oh, there she is, Catherine Cheney. Okay, so you're doing actually a little more than you think you are just by filling out that form. Your information is going into different locations. All right, so I have to come back to that bio. How do I do that? Well, you can use find content as one item, and the last thing that has been created on the site will come here. Now notice Catherine Cheney is the author, Kay Cheney, of this piece of content. She's the only person can edit it. Notice you can't go in and start editing other people's information. Because you're a Paysonite, you have the ability to edit your own things, but not everybody else's. So I can return by editing. That's one option. Or if I want to come home to the home page of the website and I go to people, and we're almost done with this tutorial. I can filter my list to MS candidates and filter. And there is Catherine Cheney. Now, of course, Catherine Cheney did make her own bio. This is just for demonstration purposes, but here is her bio. I can click on that. And now anything that you created, you're going to have this edit tab. So all you have to do is when you want to come back and continue to work on this, you can find one of these different ways to find your page. But because you're the author, you can edit. Just click on that edit tab. It's as easy as that. Come on down, and like I said, there's that legacy formatting. It helps you to know how it's going to look, but sometimes it wants to hang out. So I know it's a pain, and I apologize. If I could have fixed it, I would. And I'm going to get rid of it one more time. Then I just have to scroll down. When I hit save, I have publish my changes. Now, it takes about 3 minutes for your changes to actually go live on the website. If you logged out right now and went back to Payson People, it might take about 3 minutes or so before you actually see your changes have updated. But while you're authenticated and you're logged in, you're going to see the changes that you made. Okay? As far as testimonials, under prospective students, there's right on the prospective students page, there's this lovely little carousel here, and Catherine's been added to it. She'll show up in this list because she did fill out that testimonial. Or you can look at a full on table that is in alphabetical order. That's why we put in our last names in alphabetical order, and now Catherine's been added to that as well. So those tutorials go a long way. We really appreciate it, but certainly in no means do you feel like you have to do that. Thank you for your time. Hopefully this has enlightened you a bit on feeling comfortable and getting started with working on the Payson website. And we hope that you will take the opportunity to create a people bio.